check, 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 chop it down, check, 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 chop it down, chop it down, chop it down, you gon' chop it down, chop it down, chop it down, chop it down, you gon' chop it down. Damn, set, watch him throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of Trap or Dive Podcast. I am your host of the Trap or Dive Podcast, Mual. AJ's on the way. Dre is on the way. Appreciate it, guys, listening live, watching live, however you are doing that. Benz, what's up? Monty, what's up? On the YouTube side, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you are on Twitch or Twitter, appreciate you checking in. What's going on with you over there? Try to migrate over to the YouTube side, but it's cool however you watch. You know, we always appreciate that. Audio side, same thing, man. Hit the button. Follow, rating, review if you can. It takes 10 seconds to do so, and it's free to show you support that way. The administrative items are done. So no post game on Sunday. I think I got a lot of questions about what was going on with the post game, but at the end of the day, I think we all, despite what the obligations were, we all deserve a day off, right? It's the same story the last 5 weeks. But you know, I think when you look at this game and just the way this losing streak is going, even when they were winning, I'm gonna make this spiel while we wait on AJ and Dre. I'm not being hyperbolic here, right? I feel really good right now. I'm being honest. I feel really good. I'm in a good mood. Matter of fact, I'm sorry. I made sure that I didn't pour up before I started the show. So let me go ahead and take my sip before I get into my spiel. That's Basil Hayden. Y'all wondering what I'm drinking. So look, I look at this season and I'm talking from a injury aspect, a performance aspect, a coaching aspect. I am genuine when I say I don't recall such a more underwhelming / poor season. I think that when you look at Washington's inability to stop anything defensively, like, bruh, I think even the Seahawks punted, right? Forced a turnover one time. You didn't get Detroit off the field on Sunday at all. There was no answer for anything that Detroit sent. There was no dictating in a sense, right? And it's not exclusive to Detroit, right? Like in terms of dictating defensively. You see that throughout the course of the season, there was no dictating at all. And what makes things difficult when you talk about having the ability to control a series or have that edge to have that idea of what this team is going to try to, what they're going to try to do against you, but have the ability to counter that or be prepared for it. Washington wasn't prepared. And I look at this season, and I mean, you can't get past the fact that Washington has lost 4 straight games, about 20 points or more. But then overall, like, I don't think you look at the immediate, let's say 3 games. You can probably go further than 3 games. I don't think you see these upcoming opponents and say we have a shot to win. Again, I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm giving you my true, raw thoughts, not even emotional. The Miami Dolphins possess firepower. Defensively, now granted, they played Kirk Cousins against Atlanta, but the only thing that changed with Atlanta was that quarterback spot. They still had their weapons. They dominated the Atlanta Falcons. The defensive side of the football did. Against the Buffalo Bills, Buffalo had their splash plays. I mean, that's an elite offense, right? But you hold them to 13 points, right? You keep them out of the end zone. That's a hard thing to do. You force multiple fourth down stops. So what am I saying? I'm not saying that that defense is like drastically better, but what I'm saying is they are playing with effort and they make some really good plays defensively. And we know about their offense. It's still explosive. They still have Devin A-Chain. They still have Jalen Waddle, right? And Tua knows how to get the ball to those two. At the very least, what he's going to do is get the ball to those two. So what am I saying here? When I look at this season and the immediate future, their future opponents, I have no idea where a win is coming in sight. And I feel bad because I told one of my friends, shout out to James if you're watching. I was like, bro, you tripping. They're going to get at least 2. That's how bad it got. It's like, they're going to get at least 2 wins. 2 to 3 wins. I don't know where they're going to come from because that's just the nature of the NFL, but you're going to get at least 2 or 3. I made an amended statement this week. I don't even know if they're going to get 1. And if they do get the 1, I don't know where it's going to come from. Maybe if Russell Wilson playing with the Giants again, you know. So, you know, I do think that Washington is just in this state of disarray where, you know, you're just hoping to find answers that'll keep you afloat for the rest of the season. You look at Dan Quinn this week, right? You know, he came out and he said something interesting. Hold on, bro. I wonder if I did. Hold on. I actually may be in the wrong studio. This is hilarious. I was wondering where they were at. All right. Try this link. Let me get the guys in here. We may be in the wrong studio, which will be my fault for why they're not here. Okay. So, let me check in with the chat right quick. Fans are starting to lose their minds. I got distracted. I ain't gonna lie to you when I started reading my phone because I think that they're in a different studio. Fans are starting to lose their minds. They're fighting each other. Want every player cut, fired. Just a bunch of BS. Terry on the sidelines. I do think that's interesting. Like looking for anything to get mad about. I think that was a big deal for whatever reason. The Terry conversation and him being on the sideline. I don't even know what that means. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't even think anybody should care that much anymore. But also, knowing that he was at the game, it was actually funny to me. How you make a big deal about somebody not because you don't see them and say that they're not at the game. And then you got Mama Jackson fighting a good fight on Twitter. Is really not a good fight, but fighting a good fight on Twitter saying he was at the game. He was present. It's ridiculous. All right, let's go ahead and get the guys in here. Bro, I'm so confused. I could have sworn when I made this on, I could have sworn I made it in the regular studio. But nevertheless, you all are here. Just don't use the original links moving forward. We'll get rid of this one. But Dre and AJ is in here for those who are listening to the audio side. What's going on, fellas?
Just to let y'all know, me and AJ aren't late. Like Mual was saying, we just had some link issues before they start saying stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in here. I don't know who Big Pimpin' Slim DB is, but that is a weird ass comment that you wrote. Like, that is hella weird.
Hey, don't take it to heart.
Nah, I ain't take it to heart, but like that was very like specific, and I'm like,
It might have been because of the comment you made last week on the show, something about how you took care
Oh,
of them.
going to the we said that on the show that we was going.
Yeah, no, he said that he took care of them at the thing and everything.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so let's kind of yeah. I mean, I get it, but not to say that it was.
Dre, you gonna have to fill me in via text because I'm hella confused. But yeah, let's roll with the show.
Talking about high social, AJ.
Hey man, y'all niggas weird. let's just go there. Let's
see you got the fresh. I see you got the fresh locks, bro.
Not you and Mual, but yeah, y'all niggas weird.
I see you got the locks retwisted, bro.
Yeah.
You got them Jones done today?
Yes, sir.
He going to Madrid tomorrow. He trying to look fresh up in Madrid. But what you say, AJ? You outside. You don't care about this game, right? We outside.
Trying to stun on them hoes, man.
Fuck the game. Fuck Big Pimp and Slim BB. Fuck the weather. Fuck everything. Just I'm on a fuck it Tuesday.
Hey, what time you leave out tomorrow?
It'll be all right.
11.
Early.
No, I changed my joint up from what we discussed because of these flight delays. I wasn't trying to put myself in a situation where flight get delayed and then I'm screwed because I mean, how many flights going to Spain with a certain airline? So yeah,
you got connecting because I didn't know that United had straight. Bro, I thought you had to connect to get to Spain.
No, I had a connection, but my original connection was in Chicago. But the layover was short. It was short in between. So if you get a delay, then you pretty much assed out because you probably not gonna make that flight. So this joint, I got a long like layover in New York, but I mean it's all good. Got a Greg and I guess his whole family on my flight too that I just found out
damn
like a little bit ago. So yeah,
that's a coincidence, but that's lit.
Yeah,
on the same flight.
Yeah, I got some.
They staying at the same telly that we was talking about.
Nah, they staying somewhere else.
Okay.
Hopefully you canceled your joint.
Oh no, I'm straight. Yeah, I'm straight there.
Oh, that's the person I put in the headline. Yeah. Next time you gonna get a Mortal Kombat uppercut.
Not the Hadouken, bro. All right, hey, bro. All right, so look
with you now. I know who it is. It's all good. My bad. I take back my.
He'll get mad. He's ready to fight.
So, I was thinking, bro, and when I was getting my spiel, because I locked y'all out the studio. Before we even get, because I was just getting into the Dan Quinn comments and his pressure. I don't necessarily think that I've seen a Washington team, and I'm not being hyperbolic. This is my true, honest thought. I don't think I've seen a team this bad before. And like, I'm including injuries, but I'm also including just the abysmal play on the field. Like, I don't think I've seen a team that Washington has yielded, even in the previous regime, the previous coaching eras, like where my memory is active. So we're talking about going back to 2003. I don't think I've seen a team this bad given the set of circumstances that they have in 2025. I say what I had to say then. I'll get y'all the floor, get y'all thoughts on kind of just how this season has gone so far, and especially since we didn't really talk about Detroit.
I mean, I haven't necessarily thought about the comparison of how this team has looked to other organizations, but I think that's why maybe I wanted us to get that particular guest that I texted you about the other day on, because they were in the mix, of leading the organization and some changes. I just think that the roster is poor, and I think that when I sit back and really like digest it the last few weeks, Jaden Daniels should have been the MVP of the NFL. I mean, of the NFL last year. Like, take away these injuries, right? Like things happen. It's football, right? But he really did an amazing job of masking so many holes within this roster last year to the point that they got to the conference championship game, because these holes still exist, and they're even more glaring when you're losing, and then you're losing certain players. Because I mean, even if you look at the defense or even offensively, a lot of these guys that you lost aren't necessarily like game changers. Like, I mean, some people may argue Terry McLaurin, right? But still, you should be able to get around that. But defensively, you didn't really lose no game changer. I mean, Dietrich Wise, all respect to him, appreciate
Dorrance
him
Armstrong.
being on the show. Yeah, even Dorrance Armstrong, like it's not like he was like that impactful. People may look at the numbers and be like, yeah, but the defense was still ass. Even though he was putting up sack numbers, like it was still ass. Marshawn Lattimore. Now you got Trey Amos that's hurt. You got guys that were supposed to be rotational pass rushers in Von Miller and Jacob Martin now having to start and carry the high dosages of trying to stop the run and rush the pass. Your linebacker play. Bobby is leading is top in the league or top 3, whatever, in tackles, but like Luvu is not impactful. Your back end, your safety play, Will Harris, you brought him in. He got injured week 1, and I think he had a broken fibula as well, right? So now Jeremy Reeves, your special teamer, your special team ace, all pro Revo as they call him, has now had to play in the most games he's ever played in his entire life as a starter, like outside of high school. Like, then Quan Martin is just not it at all. So it's just like, it just makes you think so much more about the poor roster construction. And that's where, with Dan Quinn now deciding to take over the play calling, I'm scared for him. And I think him and his wife should have movers on speed dial, because
Hold on, let's because I don't want to.
yeah,
I want to make sure that we cover this before we.
I'm not gonna get too deep into that, but I guess what I was saying is, from a roster construction standpoint, this is a bad roster, like offensively and defensively.
Well, I want you to. I do want to say one thing, bro. I need you to at least acknowledge that you was all for this in the summertime, though, bro.
All for what?
Super Bowl.
Because you changed you've changed your tune now, and I'll acknowledge that. But like, I think because and the reason why I want to bring this up is because of how hard you're going against AP. And I think that's important for you to at least acknowledge, in that if you thought that this roster and how they built it in the summertime was good, acknowledge that, you just changed your tune, bro. And you was wrong just like some other people was wrong.
I don't think
I for sure.
I never called the roster good. What I did say about
let me bring my phone out, bro.
What I did say about the team having an opportunity to compete for the Super Bowl was because of Jaden Daniels. But I never thought that the roster was good. I thought that what's the name? I thought that Deebo Samuel being in each position group, there is a veteran presence there. In the past with the Ron Rivera regime, you didn't necessarily have that. So guys were just learning on the fly. Am I being sabotaged on my own show?
It's a good point, Mo, bringing up.
Bro, this is important, bro, because you can't. I gave a preview
just now, but
I gave a preview. I got like 3 minutes, and it's crazy because I was actually looking for something. I was looking for something that I said about Joe Whitt Jr. and then I came across the shit that you were saying about the entire roster and how it was built. And I was like, you know what? This is a perfect time to clip up, because there's no way that you're gonna go this hard about AP and this roster construction. And now, granted, to answer your question, it was a slight sabotage, but I also think
it definitely was, because like
I think it's important.
Together,
I didn't set you up on purpose, but I was like, keep it a buck.
Tell me, like, hey, there's a clip that I plan on using.
You can't just.
Because I don't even know what you're referring to. So I literally was just talking, right, and I thought that there was something going on in the background. So I don't even know what was said. So you can play it again.
So what's
You can play it
important?
again.
No, what's important is I gave
Play it again.
I gave the audience 10 seconds. This is 3 minutes worth. I'm not gonna do that.
So play it.
You want to play everything.
Bro, if you gonna play it because I don't even you gotta remember, right? We do the show all year. So I'm not gonna remember every single thing that I say. So help me understand what I said. So I
don't
can
disagree with what you're saying. And I also want to acknowledge, yes, like flat out, it was semi-sabotage. It was not intentional in the sense of like, I'm going to discredit everything you're saying. I just think it's important. Like, you cannot forget certain things that you say in the sense of, hey, I liked what they were doing this offseason. This is a minimum 12-win team. They ought to make it back. I'm expecting conference championship to a Super Bowl. Those are things that I can remember a lot of us saying. I said bare minimum. I said 9 wins, floor. I said floor, 9 wins. I see us winning 10 games. Dre was around the same page. You said 12 wins. You said we should be looking for a Super Bowl. Like, these are things that's hard to forget. And also, again, what I was actually playing a snippet of was around the time that you talked about Von Miller coming to the team, and you went across the board about how you like everything from both sides of the ball on how they were doing, except, I give you credit for this, the safety position. That's the one thing you was consistent about. You said you don't trust these safeties. You don't fuck with these safeties. And the only reason why I'm doing this is only because it's important, bro. Because if you say AP constructed this roster poor, there's no way that you forget in the summertime that this thing was it was a completely different lens, bro. That's all I'm saying. I acknowledge one thing. I can acknowledge, all right, I know what their strategy was. I'll let you play it out, but if you fuck up, that's on you. And they clearly fucked up. And they gave that to that old people, we're gonna let this shit rock out with these old heads, and it fucking backfired. And on top of that, 1,000 injuries. But let's not sit here and say the roster construction was poor as if like that's just something we kind of all knew this entire time. Like, we wasn't always feeling like that, bro.
I mean, I've been saying a lot of things about API. I thought that they shouldn't have re-signed Terry McLaurin. I thought that they should have traded for Tyreek Hill. I mean, that's one
thing. Those are a couple things.
Yeah, but let's look at it. Everything.
Right, I'm gonna stop too. By the way, so you go ahead. I'm gonna stop.
Everything starts and ends with Jaden Daniels, though. That's what I'm saying. He masked a lot of things. So if you go into the offseason with a plan to shore up your offensive line and to shore up your defensive line to stop the run, you're bringing in Dietrich Wise to play the edge to stop the run. I'm thinking that you should be better in the sense of going against the Philadelphia Eagles, who is one of your primary targets that you're trying to battle against because you just got your ass whipped by them in the conference championship game. So I never thought that the roster would go backwards, especially with adding in a Laramie Tunsil, a Deebo Samuel, and I guess doing whatever they thought they were doing to shore up the offensive and defensive lines. So I did expect them to be 12-5 or better because I just seen what they did year one, and I seen them also get one game away from the Super Bowl. So I'm not going to backtrack on that, but the roster still isn't where it should be. You still have major holes where you thought that you might have filled the gaps. And I think that that's been like a consistent theme for all of us as we watch the season. Without Jaden Daniels out there, this is a very mediocre team overall. Like, he masked a lot of things for them from offensively.
There was some shit with Jaden on the field too. Now, I'm not cutting you off from your point, but I'm just adding this. That's actually part of the problem. They were not good when he was on the field.
The defense was some shit, but the offense was a top 5, a top. I mean, the offense was a top 10. Huh?
No, they weren't. They were top 15. They were hovering around middle of the pack. They were one of the worst third down offenses. They were one of the most penalized offenses. That's the complete opposite of what they were last year.
But what were they in rushing yards?
They were still like number 1, number 2.
Yeah, so they had a productive offense,
but that dropped
was
off,
keeping them on the field, and they were converting 4 downs.
No, bro, that dropped off. Jaden got hurt in week 2, bro. They were a number 1 rush offense when Mariota was on the field too, and then a drop off happened after the Chargers game. Like we know that it wasn't.
You're talking about this year. I'm talking about last year under Cliff.
Oh, I don't.
What,
so, all right,
yeah,
so you said what was their rushing?
What I'm talking about is they had a top offense last year that also made up for the fact that the defense was so poor. This year, everything is ass. You feel me? The offense is not clicking the way that it was last year, and the defense is still the defense, but the offense damn sure don't look like the offense that we watched last year. I think we all can say that. But I mean, at the end of the day, whatever was played is what was played. I'm just saying, like,
I'll send it to you.
I still feel that Adam Peters
I'll send it now before
has done a poor job in constructing this roster overall, and you're getting to see the remnants of that.
But you can't. All right, look, my bad. This is it.
Why can't I, bro? Like
you can't. No. What I'm
Let me just give the other side. Why can't I?
Listen to what I'm saying. You ain't even. I'm saying you can't just sit here and not acknowledge. Or you can't forget like how you perceive this roster in the offseason, bro. Like, there's no way that you forgot about that.
How I perceive that, I just said everything starts and ends with Jaden Daniels. If Jaden Daniels is healthy, you should have a shot. And if you go ahead and you add a Ken Law, you add a Dietrich Wise into the mix to fill the positions of a Clelin Ferrell, for example, or Jonathan Allen, the team should be able to get back to the same position or better. That was my whole contention of what I was saying. I still believe that he could have improved in other situations. I still believe that he shouldn't have paid Terry McLaurin. I still say that. I still believe that he should have possibly tried to go get Tyreek Hill, like a difference maker offensively. Like, they didn't do that. Even defensively, they didn't add anybody to the pass rush. I was completely against the Josh Connolly pick. I mean, we were here live during the draft when that happened. Never expected them to take a tackle with the 29th pick in the draft. I never expected that. So, I mean, I just think that, at the end of the day, when I said that comment, that was really based off of Jaden Daniels. It wasn't necessarily, they now have added elite talent. It's Jaden Daniels. Everything starts and ends with him. And on top of that, health. They were a healthy team last year. Jaden Daniels, yes, he missed, a game and a half or something? But at the end of the day, they were a healthy roster with a highly productive offense that could mask also what they're doing defensively. They don't have either one of those, nor do they have their starting quarterback.
But
go ahead, Dre, my bad. You got the floor, bro.
Yeah. And to AJ's point, I think the offense, I don't even think the offense could have matched what this defense has shown this year. Now, going back to Adam Peters, here's the mistake. Now, he had a fairly successful first year, right? I mean, most of his free agent picks hit. I mean, they were the same guys we're all calling ass now, the Bobby Wagners, the Frankie Louvous, the Jeremy Chins, whatever. He signed all of those guys, and those guys pretty much hit in their first year. Even though you didn't have a great defense, you still was able to do enough to win games with what the offense was giving you on a consistent basis. But this year, Adam Peters tried that same strategy. He went back to that well because they didn't have enough draft picks. So he had to go back to that 1 year stopgap well. And this year just simply didn't work. Like Harley, you probably can go through the list and say, this didn't work, this didn't work, this didn't work. So that's on Adam Peters. But as far as talking about firing him and getting rid of him because he made a mistake, look, he can get one time to clean up his mess. That's it. That's all I'll give a GM. I think a GM gets one time to clean up his mess, especially when you talk
one change.
I mean,
this is it. This all season.
When you talk about 2 years,
I'm saying you're wrong. I'm just
I know. Yeah, no, I get it. But I'm saying when you talk about 2 years in, you have one successful year, you have one bad year, and mind you, this is not an easy task. This roster, this cleanup, doing what you need to do to make this roster be sustainable, compete at a high level with the Philadelphia Eagles, the Rams, the Seahawks, all of those teams. It's not easy for anybody to come in for what they had to do. And Adam Peters, like I said, he did the 1 year thing last year, and he tried it again, and it didn't work this year. So that's shame on Adam Peters. But going back to what you see on the field, it's still so hard. Like to Mual's point, watching that defense, everything's easy against them. Like it doesn't look like a professional unit, and I know some want to separate the coaches from the players, but I think everybody owns it. We already talked about Adam Peters. Adam Peters is first in line of owning it. But then you got to go down to the coaching staff and the players. Like, how are you that bad as a unit? Like, even when you don't have great personnel, we were talking about Dietrich Wise and all of the guys that you had before the injuries happened. They still weren't a good unit. They still were kind of getting raked over the coals. But even with all of that, you still don't expect to not look like an NFL unit. Like, this unit can't stop anything. Like, Detroit Lions could have probably went out there and got 800 yards of total offense if they wanted to in this game. Probably on just
imagine
one
if the
game.
game was competitive.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
The game was competitive.
If a shootout, yes. If you having a shootout, I mean, we would have needed to score 80 points. You know what I'm saying? But that's been a consistent thing. That's why you've seen the last 4 weeks this team has gotten blown out in 4 straight weeks, and nothing looks like the defense doesn't look like they can do anything. Like, you know, sometimes they might accidentally get a turnover. You're like, oh man, Mikey Sanders still got an interception, but that's so rare. Like, I mean, even a stop feels rare. Like, nothing feels like, I mean, they're getting 7 yards a carry with the running backs. It looks like receivers are open. Like, I'm talking about watching the same thing over and over. Like last, game, Detroit. 2 guys following one receiver while you just got one underneath super wide open without anyone in the 15-yard radius of them. Like, this is a constant thing. Like, how are you this bad? Yes, the personnel's bad, but the coaching is bad as well. And I don't expect it to get any different with Dan Quinn now calling the plays. But I think Dan Quinn might be doing Joe Whitt a little bit of a favor now, because now the attention is going to be squarely on Dan Quinn and why this unit is so bad. So it's unexplainable. But what I will say is, going back to Adam Peters, he has a fire lit under his ass now, and we're going to see how he performs when he has to be urgent. He has to be kind of urgent in how he moves this summer. He can't go back to this same strategy because this time it didn't work. So how do you change up your roster building, and what do you do? Are you going to kind of go clean sweep? Are you going to start looking to trade away guys? Like, what's that method going to be? But we have to see something different than what he pulled this offseason.
I mean, but should he be allowed to do that? Because
yes,
if you give him year 3, going into year 4, you now have to pay Jaden. You got to pay Jaden.
You're gonna pay Jaden.
Yeah, like, you're gonna pay him. But now that new GM, if it doesn't pan out, is now pretty much having to roster rebuild once again with Jaden now.
Are you talking about Peters or are you talking about Dan Quinn?
I'm saying, like, so if you give Adam Peters another chance to,
you talking about Dan Quinn.
Huh?
You talking about Dan Quinn, right, Dre? When you mentioned
Adam Peters has the fire under him. Man.
Oh, I was talking about Adam Peters. Yeah.
All right, continue.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, with Adam Peters, if you give him another shot and it doesn't pan out, now going into year 4, which is the extension eligibility period for Jaden Daniels, this new GM that would come in now would have to try to get a roster to get to a certain point of the next level. Now also having to pay Jaden and no longer on this rookie contract. I think you better off like firing the GM and letting that person cook and trying to get to that point.
But AJ, who can you hire right now? Because this doesn't look more attractive now than it did a couple of years ago. It was attractive a couple of years ago when you said, I got the number 2 draft pick, I got this amount of cap space and everything. But now you fire a GM in 2 years. Now, how many people are lining up to work for Josh Harris when they realize I don't have enough time to kind of, do what I need to do? And on top of that, the situation ain't all that attractive now. I don't have a number 2 pick. I only got limited draft picks and everything. How many GMs are lining up to take that job when they know the owner doesn't have patience and it's not all that attractive of a roster right now? They have to do a lot.
I mean, I don't think it's the owner doesn't have patience. I think it's also a competitive thing. Like, I know I'm way better than that motherfucker that constructed that roster. Like, at the end of the day, this person's gonna give me all the resources I need to do my job. I think that we seen Adam Peters do a little bit of Dollar Tree shopping. Like, I mean, there were players out there, but like you just said, Dre, the iron was hot this offseason to go spend that money and lure in certain guys. Like, that possibly could have made a difference. Now you're going into year 3 where we don't know where this team is going to finish. They probably going to finish with a top 10 pick. It's not going to be as convincing to be able to bring in certain guys into the fold when, let's say, if Adam Peters does return and Dan Quinn return, that they're on the hot seat. Because let's keep it a buck. Like, no matter how the rest of this season plays out, year 3, if they retain both of them, they're on the hot seat. Like they either got to show up or they're out the door. So it's just one of those things for me where it's like I'd rather pivot now versus waiting to do that going into year 4 where Jaden Daniels is eligible to be the highest paid quarterback in NFL history, because that's exactly what it's going to be. Like, I don't think that anyone's going to be scared to take the job or feel that Josh Harris is not giving them an ample opportunity. I mean, he's given Adam Peters all the tools. And another thing that I want people to remember is this is Adam Peters and Dan Quinn's first time ever doing anything together. It's not like they had a rapport with one another coming into this. So it may just not be working. Like, because there's obviously a disconnect.
But you don't know that after 2 years, bro. Like that's an assumption based on your feelings. And
one bad year.
Yeah, and it's one bad year. And I think when you look at it like that, that's not even a safe space to operate. Like from a position that if you're Josh Harris, bro, I don't like you can't sit here and say, bro, we did great year 1, but this season has been terrible. And now that I think about it, like the way in which he operated from a roster construction standpoint, despite the injuries, we suck. And it's all his fault. Let me go ahead and start over. Like that sounds like a brash, impatient, like I don't even know the other words to describe it. I'm not even that depth in my language. But I
think we can look at it 2 different ways though. Like New England Patriots fired their coach last year, kept the same GM, brought in.
But we know why they fired him. It's the same reason why Arizona fired Steve Wilkes after 1 year. We know why they fired him. But they made a mistake. They made a mistake to hire dude in the first place. And that's no disrespect to because like what's his name again? The linebacker, Jerome Mayo. That's not even his fault, bro. Like you brought in a dude who had no head coach experience, not even close to it, and you knew if we kept him for a year, we'd probably be terrible, but it'd work out for us because we'll have a top 5 draft pick and we could just fire him at the end of the season, bro. They do that with a lot of black coaches, and you know that. You
also could be the New York Giants, where you keep the head coach too long and you keep the GM too long. They're also saying that they're gonna let Joe Shane pick the next head coach. Like, but all right, at some point you gotta know when to pivot.
And he's brought in talent defensively. Like, is that his fault that they can't get shit right? Him, Dayball, and his staff, is that his fault? Because they got some dogs. Is that Shane's fault? Now I'm not saying he made right decisions because letting Saquon go, especially knowing that he had a potential to go back to fucking Pennsylvania.
That was a fireable offense.
Yeah, fireable offense in itself. I'm not saying he did everything right, but I'm talking about from a roster construction standpoint. If you're talking about certain things that he's done, now granted, offensively, you never got the quarterback position right up until the point that you got Jackson Dart, right? You got potential there. But even still, like, all I'm saying when you talk about Adam Peters, you're actually proving the point in that they gave Sean ample opportunity to get it together. You don't, and even in New York, they didn't go as far as Adam Peters and Dan Quinn did in year 1. They in the 3 or 4 years they've been together, they haven't been as far as Dan Quinn and Adam Peters did in year 1. And you're trying to convince, if you're the owner, AJ, you're trying to convince your fans and anybody that's interested in doing business with you from a staff and roster standpoint that I can trust you to keep the people that brought me in here for more than a year, because like if we don't look good in a certain period or a sustained period of time, we're not even gonna have another chance to try and get this on the right ship. I think that Adam Peters is in a spot where you have to let him fix his mistakes. And if he doesn't turn things around in 2026, then you see how much more time are you going to give him. But after 2 years, bro, that's premature. If there's going to be any changes on this with this team outside of the player standpoint, you need to be looking at assistant coaches and coordinators. And I think this is a perfect time to even talk about Dan Quinn and his pressure yesterday, because he said, hey, bro, that man said, I'm taking over the role as defensive coordinator and all that entails. Like, he said, Joe Whitt, you just go up in the booth and I'll hit you up when I need you. That's all.
What is Joe Whitt's title now?
He a defensive analyst. I have no idea what the fuck he doing no more. But to that point, like he's now you got Dan Quinn in a role where it's like he know damn well he ain't want to do this. But at this point, bro, you're back against the wall too. I think Adam Peters back against the wall this offseason 100%. But right now, you got to figure out as Dan Quinn, like how are you gonna make this season somewhat salvageable, not from a standpoint of winning games, because if you real, your season over with. He not gonna think that. But if you real, like it's like, how do I make this season salvageable? How do I get the best out of our younger guys so we got something to look forward to in the future? And if none of your guys take to your coaching and your game planning and your philosophy, you want a big hole too, bro.
But here's the thing: you can't take on the role as the head coach and then now you're calling the plays and then revert back to hiring a DC next year. So if you are retained, you can't do that. Like how can
so,
you?
Let me be clear though. Let me be clear. I actually understand your angle. I want to make sure that you at least know that, AJ. Like I actually, typically speaking, like because if you make this decision, odds are generally you're out the door too if it fails. Like that's generally what things look like if it wasn't like this specific situation. Coaches who fire or demote their coordinator or coordinator, offensive or defensive, doesn't work, you're probably out the door too. That's generally how it works. But Dan Quinn has relationships. That's another thing that we talked about when he got hired. There's going to be people who want to work for him and give him another opportunity. Same way we know that Cliff is probably out the door too. He's going to go somewhere, whether it's college or NFL. He probably out the door too. So there's going to be people who want to work with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's kind of, and we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, right? And I think for Dan Quinn to do this, he must know that his job is on the line right now, because I don't think that you could take over defensive play calling and then next year say that you're going to go and search the marketplace for a D coordinator to replace that person. Like, I mean, to replace who you now are calling the plays as the head coach. I don't think you could do that. Like, I mean, it's kind of like Buffalo Bills. Like when Leslie Frazier was calling the defense for Sean McDermott and Leslie Frazier decided to walk away, they couldn't replace somebody else to go call those plays. Sean McDermott took it over and has been calling the defense. So it's just, I don't know how you could just say, all right, I'm going to call it for the rest of these games, and then in the offseason, I'm going to go look for a new defensive coordinator. When you were brought in because of your defensive skill set and what you did in Dallas and what you did with other teams such as Seattle, it's just I don't understand that.
I don't think he was totally brought in for that. Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't think he was totally brought in for what he brings in, on the defensive side. I mean, I think obviously that was, one of the perks, but I think more to it is what you alluded to earlier. It was the relationships, and what he brings as a culture guy, especially when you're talking about building something new from the ground up, which Adam Peters was tasked to do. And I guess he thought Dan Quinn would be one of the perfect candidates to do so, as he's known as a culture guy around the league. And the culture looked good last year, but when you're losing, the culture looks bad. But I mean, as far as, going on through next season and, this being his last, kind of hurrah, him being defensive coordinator, no, because for one, I don't think that he's going to change anything drastically on this defense for the rest of the season that would, so to speak, keep his job. Like, I think he's probably doing this more so to kind of shield Joe Whitt, because of the respect he has for Joe Whitt. He's going to probably take the brunt of it. But this definitely means something's going to happen this offseason. I don't know if Dan Quinn's going to kind of assume the duties or keep those duties going forward, or if he's going to kind of look outside of the family. Like, I personally think or hope that he would look outside of the family of his own coaching tree. There's plenty of places. You look at Denver, look at Seattle, get someone from those trees. And, yeah, and I think that Dan Quinn can kind of merge philosophies, and that'll help him going forward. I think him right now leaning too much on his own tree. He doesn't have any different answers right now than other than what he knows. So, I mean, if he really wants to be the CEO coach and, be the guy that doesn't want to have his hands directly in the pot, every play, then, yeah, I think he should go outside of the family. But that's definitely going to be a decision that Dan Quinn has to make this offseason, whether he wants to keep doing this or if he's going to look elsewhere to do it.
Yeah, you made a great point, and honestly, AJ made a great point too. Initially, when he talked about the McDermott or McDermott comparison in Buffalo. Um, if you have to retool and obviously like call your plays as a head coach, you may not want to do it, but if that's what got you the job, right? Your defenses, but also your ability, primarily your ability to cultivate strong locker rooms and strong sense of brotherhood. That's important, but also we need you to coach a little bit. Get your hands active. Now, it's not wrong with that. Like that doesn't mean like if it fails, it's like it's over for you, right? We gotta judge the circumstances by the circumstances. However that looks like in 2026, right? But one thing I did want to bring up, and you already touched on it, but it's like, do you go outside the box moving forward? One of the big things that Dan Quinn was harping on in that season or 2024 when he was hired, he self-audited. Like he had an audit conducted on his practices and how he moved. And I think it's really important in moments like this, when the offseason does come around, that you lean on what you learned about yourself. Like if you feel like you held on to these relationships a little bit too longer, among other things, like because I don't know all the details of what he learned, then like how do you find better, or how do you find something that works? Because you can find something outside of your circle, as you mentioned, where it's like, all right, we have chemistry as a from a philosophical standpoint. I think I understand what you're saying. I think we can work well together. While I don't know you like I knew other people, let's give this a shot. Now, that may be risky in the state and where Washington is, but at the same time, like, going what you know can get you in trouble just as much as going what you don't know.
Yeah.
Like I never forget, like Jay Gruden, bruh, you brought Wade Phillips in just to try to embarrass him in an interview. And Wade Phillips was by far the best coordinator that you probably would have had an opportunity to hire in your tenure here in Washington, and you chose to embarrass him in an interview. So like, I think there's opportunity there either way. Like you want to try to call the plays, I think there's something there for you. But if you want to really get better, like look for the best in the league that's available to you. And I wonder which route he's going to take, because that can actually tell us a lot in terms of how he's processing. Like if he's going to stick in his comfort zone or if he's actually going to go for it.
Remember, he did that with Cliff. Like, remember, he said he had never worked with Cliff before, and he hired Cliff. So he needs to do that on the defensive side.
Yeah, but I guess just think about it. You don't know if you're going to get another head coaching opportunity, right? And when you did get that job offer, the first person on your list that you wanted as D coordinator was Joe Whitt Jr. It's like, I get it from his standpoint. He feels like he's knowledgeable about the game and well enough to do at the position. But it's like, I don't know who else is out there. Like, I truly don't know who else is out there, because the guys that have been under him, like a Raheem Morris, a Jeff Ulbrich, or whatever the case is, they're both in Atlanta together. So it's just like, I don't really know. Like, if you say he needs to do another audit, I mean, if Joe Whitt Jr. was number one, damn, who was number two? Because it damn sure wasn't somebody with a whole bunch of experience at D coordinator.
Will Harris. So what's his name? What's the dude?
Al Harris.
Al Harris. I said Will Harris. Yeah. Good Lord. Al Harris. And they couldn't pry him from Dallas.
Dallas was blocking him.
Because, I mean, it's just, I guess for me, like, I guess you could say maybe Joe Whitt Jr. maybe not calling the plays at the exact moments, maybe a more seasoned guy would call, but he's running DQ system. He's running the system that they familiar with. So I don't know, bro.
That's where I think to that point though,
down
like
to a player aspect.
I think to that point though, like the way you can communicate with your guys is important, but also like understanding the flow of the game. Like just think about it, bro. Like the Lions on that drive that Jameson Williams scored that touchdown, bro. They called like the same play 4 times that drive, bro, and they just kept running that shit. Like there's no way that you look at that and as a coordinator and say, all right, I don't know what to do. Like I'm calling this, I'm calling that, and I just don't know what to do. There has to be a anticipatory factor in your play calling. Obviously, the players need to know better too. So I'm not sitting here blaming Joe Whitt, but what I'm actually bringing light to is that maybe Dan Quinn has a better feel for the game than Joe Whitt, and I think that's also a factor that people aren't going to be able to take into account. These last stretch of games, it's going to help us figure that out. Players, from a player standpoint, like, do you see incremental improvements from not individual players, but from units? Do you see incremental improvement from your defensive line, your linebackers, your cornerbacks, your safeties? Like, do you see something? And if you do see something, what is the reason behind it? And I think those are things that's important to notice. Now, granted, it sucks that Trey Amos is out for the season. Broken fibula. You would have loved to use him in this moment where you're transitioning from one coordinator to another. Now you just basically using makeshift guys. And you know what's funny? Ironically enough, well, I don't know. I was gonna say Mike Sanderson might go outside, but they kept him in the slot this week, so he may stay in the slot still and put Noah Egbenogany outside. So I don't know, bro. Like, you basically just you just shuffling the deck at this point, bro.
Well, I guess I was gonna say, like, it was also a bad week for Joe Whitt Jr. Overall, the team that he's facing from a talent standpoint, and then the Lions decided not to use their primary offensive coordinator that's been calling the plays all season. They switched to Dan Campbell. So now anything that you were pretty much looking at on tape is not the same. Like, so you're game planning for a coordinator that you didn't even know was going to be calling the plays. Like, so anything that you went into thinking from this standpoint, this person likes to do this, likes to do that, the whole ideology got changed on Sunday because now Dan Campbell was calling the plays and not Johnny Morton. So, I mean, either way, it would have been the score that it would have been, and because they have better skill players, but it's like you really didn't have anything to go based off of.
Treylon Burks hurt his finger. He's out for a week. Then he make the trip.
Fitting right in already.
Hey, bro, I'm about to say, like, hey, bro, welcome to the team. You ain't watching the Commander until you get hurt. I'll tell you that right now, the way things going.
And he looked good too. He was one of the bright spots on Sunday.
Yeah, I think that was a big deal. Like, so granted, they did say he's not expected to be out for a long time, but I mean, if you have finger surgery, bro. Well, I mean, it's a bye week after the Miami game too. So maybe he does come back after the bye week. I guess we'll see, but yeah, I think
with Jaden.
Do y'all want Jaden to come back this season?
Honestly, I mean,
we can end it with this conversation too.
To me, it doesn't matter at all. Like, I mean, if he does, cool. I mean, I hope Jaden come. If they want to put him back out there, I mean, I'm sure Jaden wants to go out there and play. Then obviously, I'm just looking for him to end the season on a high note, something to just kind of give himself some self-confidence. Like, yeah, I'm still him. I can still do this. But if they don't, I'm perfectly fine with it because at this point, I want my top 5 pick. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm indifferent on it. It doesn't make a difference. I mean, I probably lean more towards the side of just sit him for the rest of the damn season, just because I am in top 5 pick territory.
I mean, you obviously not going to be competing for anything. I wouldn't put Jaden out there. Think it's useless. Also, believe that Cliff will be taking another job as either a head coach or a head coach NFL or collegiate wise. Makes no sense for him to get reps in this offense when it's going to be a different offensive scheme next year anyways. I think, like you guys touched on with DQ's relationship, if he does stay, we kind of talked about it last week with Ryan Fowler. Mike McDaniel was expected to be the head runner for that OC position. It just makes no sense to have Jaden come out there and do what? Like, it just makes no sense. Let Marcus Mariota maybe finish out his career, or Josh Johnson, let them get some reps. Sam Hartman.
Finish the career, bro. You think it's over for him?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He's gonna play for a couple more years.
Like, I mean, I just think
the way he was playing Sunday, bro, that man was trying to end his career.
That damn hurdle. He does it every week.
I might even if I'm Dan Quinn, I might let Tavia Pritchard and David Blau call 3 games each. Because like Cliff is not returning.
Is it a guarantee that he's done? Like, you think he's out the door?
It's way too many collegiate jobs out there with crazy buyouts that he's not bound to get one of them. Like, I mean, what you got LSU open, Auburn, Florida, Penn State. What else is open? I know I'm missing a school.
LSU. I don't know if you mentioned that, but yeah, Daniel mentioned that in the chat.
Yeah, there's a bunch
is fired.
And they're big time Florida. Like, they're gonna throw bags at him. Like, they're gonna throw big bags at him. And that's not to say he's gonna do a great job, but I mean,
but there's one thing for sure. He know how to talk to QBs, he know how to handle them. So like whoever get them, they're gonna have some success at the quarterback spot.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where he's bound to get one of those jobs, and Washington may not be able to retain him. And I don't think that's an issue. I think that it's time for a new offensive scheme to be put into place.
So I'll be quick because I think Moneyball asked a good question too. I don't think Jaden should play. I don't think Terry should play. I think one of the and y'all touched on a lot, so a lot that I agree on. The coordinator aspect is one thing that's unique. I ain't gonna lie to you, AJ, but from a play standpoint, well, first of all, what's important, we should also know, like, the injury timeline is like anywhere between 3 to 6 weeks. Dan Quinn said he hasn't put thought to like his timeline of return because he heals so quickly. But bro, like, if we're talking about a 6-week timeline in terms of at worst, like, there's nothing to say that, you know, he's going to be ready in a couple weeks. Like, he may need more time. And if you lose against Miami, hit the bye week, lose against Denver, like, there is no point in you playing. Now, granted, there are divisional games, and divisional games are important because you can play spoiler. And for Jaden to come back in those situations, in terms of like having the ability to end the season on a strong note, that may be appealing to them. But there's one thing for sure. I've learned this time and again with this team alone, and then of course the NFL, but this team alone, there is no such thing as ending a season with good momentum to carry into the next season. Like, that shit is a myth. So thinking that you can put Jaden in or have a team finish strong in the last 2-3 games of the season and think that shit going to carry into the next season, like, that's one of the worst mistakes anybody can make. So if you don't think that he can play, or you don't think he can protect himself this season, especially if the season is lost, like, just let him rest up, bro. Get ready in the off season. What was the question? Moneyball asked it. Okay. Moneyball asked, what do you think about Mariota's comments after the game? I don't think we are who we think we are. You muted, AJ, if you're talking.
I mean, yeah, I think that's real. But I also think that Von Miller's comments today with Denton Day and Linnell also
fill me in. I don't know something.
Essentially, Von Miller was alluding to the fact that he doesn't think that it's the defensive coaches. He thinks that Joe Whitt Jr. has been doing everything in his power to get the guys prepared and ready on the field, whether he's on the field or in the booth. Then also with DQ calling the plays, he pretty much was just saying, like, it's probably the players. Like, you know, we still got to execute. And it seemed like he was saying it's a lack of talent.
I mean, he got to say that just as well as the coaches have to take the accountability on their end. But as far as Mariota goes, he just said what we all been saying all season, or what we've all kind of known all season. We aren't who we think we are. We haven't been who we thought we are all season. I mean, it took him 10 games to come to the realization. I mean, kudos, but yeah, I mean, it's true. And I don't know if he was alluding to them as players or them as a whole organization, Dan Quinn, the coaching staff or whatever, because maybe he was kind of throwing a shot at them, saying, they still think we're here when we're not, but what do you do with that? Like, how do you, going forward for the rest of the season, like, what do you do with that? Is it a mentality thing? I mean, how do you change that? I mean, because, yeah, you're not who anybody thought you were.
Hey, shout out to Big Pimpin', bro. No Underdog Fantasy plug. He asked for those listening to the audio. Guess what? We are sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Trap or Dive. We roll by a contractual basis here. But Underdog is always the sponsor. So no, we don't have to do a read today. But yeah, promo code Trap or Dive for first time users, man. You're gonna get that bonus. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I think he said it and he left it up for interpretation through the media, like interpretation for his teammates through the media. I think when you look at Washington and how Marcus has viewed this team, like you got to think like he went from like some of the highs of highs last year and probably like the most success he's seen and actually been a part of. Like, sure, he's had seasons where he's been the long-term starter. He's won 13 games in the season. He's won playoff games before. But, like, the way in which last season went, like, I can guarantee you he's probably never experienced nothing like that in terms of a professional. And I think that was a big deal for him. He got to see it from a whole different perspective as a QB2, but also played meaningful games last year. Like, that Dallas Cowboy game, he had a big part in for why Washington had to go on the road against Tampa as opposed to playing Philly in the wild card round. Like that was because you came in and won the game for Washington. And you had a game-winning touchdown pass, right? He's had experience in a perspective that, a lot of people probably underappreciate on the roster. And to see like where things have gone from last year to this year, and he's the starter and he knows like it's not much he can do in terms of like putting the team on his back, knowing that, anytime he steps on the field, he's playing with a 7-point deficit to start the game. Like, and like your offense is injured. You don't have Terry, and you may have Terry for a game, or you may have Terry for a quarter, and then you got to work out with Debo. And like,
it's had Noah Brown.
Never had Noah Brown, right? Brian Robinson is gone, right? Like, in terms of like being able to get some of the tough yards. And I'm not sitting here saying like, I'm not over here doing the Adam Peters thing. You messed up the roster thing. I'm just saying like things are different. And when you look at like who we think we are or who the team may view, who they thought they were, I think 2025 just may ultimately end up being for those who make it to the roster in 2026 is just ultimately a big learning lesson. Mariota's actually a free agent after this year. There's going to be several free agents. Zach Ertz is going to be gone. Bobby Wagner, I think he's going to be gone. Noah Brown, of course, like he didn't play this year, but he's gone. Debo Samuel, he's gone. And I'm talking about free agency. They can choose to re-sign people, but I'm just saying from a free agent standpoint, like they're on the last year of their deal. And I think when you look at, Tyler Biadasz probably has one season left, but he may be gone. I don't, who knows what it looks like. So I think for Washington and Mariota, understanding that, this team is everybody that's going to be here moving forward. Like you got like 35, 36 players that's going to be on your roster for sure following 2025. These people going to have to understand what this season meant. And despite the injuries, bro, like you all weren't focused the way you should have been. And, maybe he expressed that to these guys, bro. All right. Moneyball. Mariota making himself some good money for this offseason. That's for sure. That's probably true. Dusko. Hey, appreciate everybody that's checking in live, checking in through the chat, man. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. Appreciate all the conversation, man. I've been obviously tapped in this whole time, reading what you all have been saying. Dusko said standing said Brown not coming back. They just signed to. Well, for sure. No. First off, Dusko, you ain't gotta tell us. Noah Brown ain't coming back. They ain't wasting their time on
Yeah,
Brown.
hell no.
You ain't got
Adam Peters should be fired on the spot if he resigns him. Then that would be I'll be AJ then if he resigns Noah Brown.
Hey, bro, Amani, they will get a few supplemental picks for the 2027 draft if they lose a bunch of people to other teams. Compensatory picks is what he meant to say. Okay. And Moneyball said, I'm so ready for Ben Sinnott. Let's go. I don't know why I read that. I shouldn't have read that. That was a mistake, Moneyball. Hey, let's end this on a positive note, man. AJ, bro, what's the first thing you doing when you get down to Spain, bro? Hey, look, you going to the they got brothels out there, bro?
Get some tapas, bro. I know AJ don't be eating that foreign food like that, but get some tapas while you out there.
I don't know
Small
what I'm
plates.
doing. I might try some churros. I ain't never had a churro before.
Man, that's Mexico.
I'm about to say, is churros a Spain thing?
Yeah, it's Mexico. That's why I'm telling you to get some tapas. Go to a tapas restaurant.
I mean, I try some tapas. I gotta figure out the full itinerary tonight, but I mean, I think what I get there 11 o'clock. So honestly,
get a what's that junk called? I saw earlier. Calamari sub, bro.
I'm allergic to seafood. I'm gonna die.
Okay, get you some paella.
And I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die again.
Why is that?
What's paella?
It's like a rice dish. It's a Spanish rice dish where it comes with anything. You know,
first of all, what ain't you allergic to?
They be putting seafood in that.
You don't have to get seafood. They got meat. You know.
Man, you gonna have to learn Spanish, bro. Tell them, look, man, no seafood in the paellas, bro.
Man, I'm gonna just tell them Telemundo.
You ain't allergic to no tequila.
Like I do when I'm in Medellin. I'll be like Telemundo. Telemundo.
Hey man, turn up for your boy, bro. I'm gonna be living through you on your stories, bro.
Yeah, man, I got the spots with the signs, happy birthday, Henny Mall, all this stuff, and you not coming, so I guess I actually believe you too. We still gonna put the signs up for you in spirit
and get it on video so he can see it too. So,
yeah. But funny enough, it's a lot of people going, bro. Like it's a lot of people going. It's just a poor game, you know. I know. So and then the weather's supposed to rain starting, I think, Friday. But I mean, yeah, make the best out of it, man. It's a beautiful country. Just gotta see what all there is to do and sightsee. But there'll be a lot of Commanders fans out there. Anybody that's a Trap or Die fan, if you out there, hit me up on X and let me know.
I'm trying to see the Miamians, the Miami women, bro. That's what I'm trying to see.
You know what sucks? What sucks is AJ, you're fine. You're gonna be out there, you know, whatever regular time. Me and Mual gotta wake up around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock just to watch this damn game.
Oh yeah, that game at 3 o'clock local time, ain't it?
Yeah, I don't want to wake up early to watch this.
I mean, am I even gonna convert to the 6-hour time difference, bro? Like
you'll be all right. You got a couple of days.
Man, I highly doubt it. Honestly, I don't think I've ever done 6-hour time difference before. So yeah, that's gonna be.
Damn,
Brazil. You went to Brazil, right? Well, Brazil was like, I think Brazil was either the same time or like an hour or two ahead. I can't remember.
I don't even remember, bro.
Well, Colombia, yeah, you go there all the time.
That joint's just an hour, bro.
Oh shit. I don't know. That shit could have been same time. I wouldn't know.
Man, that's why we need to take you out there, bro. But you know, that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, I mean, Madrid should be cool, bro. Like, definitely should be a good vibe for the fans, the energy. Yeah,
go to the parties, bro.
Maybe I'll run into Terry McLaurin or some sightseeing. And,
he might steal you.
We might do a little impromptu interview.
Yeah, do that, man. I'll put it on the Trap or Die Instagram junk, bro.
Yeah, so we'll
have it all dolled up and shit. All right, man. Hey, look, everybody, enjoy your evening. Wish AJ will or best travel prayers, I guess. I think is what it's called. And are you gonna be around Thursday for the show? You gonna try to? I'm not. There's no obligation because I know where you're gonna be. So.
Yeah, I should be straight. What I said, I get there at 8 or 11. So,
but remember what time it is. Like, if we at 7, you're gonna be at what 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Oh damn, yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, I don't know what I'm doing Thursday yet, but I mean, I'll probably be in the crib. Plus, I don't want to say too much on here. You know,
Yeah, no.
my girl
Say
might
less.
be watching. My girl might be watching. Oh, so you plan to be in the club every second?
You ain't got nothing to hide. Yeah, I'm in the club, bro. I'm in the
Nah,
club. I'm at
cause
when
I told her when she was asking about the trip, I was like, yeah, me and Mual gonna be out there. So she was like, so is this a boys trip? I'm like, nah, man, we going out there
as Commanders
to
fans.
support the team, man. I got business to do. And she's just like, okay, we'll see how you behave. And now I tell her that you ain't going. She's like, so what are you gonna do? I'm like, I can't win, bro. But
Hey,
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I felt as a lad, bro. I really did. Like I was contemplating this shit so much, bro.
I mean, you had to do what you had to do. Ain't no
Yeah,
one ain't no one anticipate what was going to take place when
yeah,
this
bro.
got announced. Like, yeah, I
funny
think
thing is, it might end tomorrow.
that's what I seen. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Tomorrow, but tomorrow evening they're gonna have to do the vote. But at the
Yeah.
same time, we ain't getting into the office this. I don't think we get into the office this
Probably
week.
not
And I
this
don't,
week.
and we
Probably
definitely
like
not getting paid. So like FAA, they still gonna be dealing with the shit until whenever we start getting paid.
Yeah.
But
the whole thing is just bogus, bro. Now this man trying to give $2,000 in tariff dividends, and our people are getting so excited what they about to do with they
That's
they
because his approval
underdog
rate was
money.
low.
I
Yeah.
said, bro, I said the same. I was like, bro, I know what you doing. I
Uh-huh.
know. I see it.
Yeah,
I'll
I
take
mean,
that 2K, but I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
he know how to appease
Yeah,
people.
yeah. All
Just
right,
give
we
him a
getting
little
there.
two
Yeah.
a little 2K make
All
you not think about your
right.
problems you had for the last 3 months.
Yeah, that little 2K stimmy. All right, we up out of here. Hey, I said Dre. AJ, be safe, Dre.
Yes, sir.
We will tap in for show Thursday. Everybody that's tapping in, y'all stay safe as well. See y'all in a couple days. All 32 is tomorrow. We up out of here, man. Peace.
Chop it down. Chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Damn, set, watch you throw the ball. We gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through 4th and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.